What's up, guys? My name is KhaoticK, back at you guys with a video about tripping on toad. Now, it wasn't the actual toad, but it's what the toad secretes, and that is 5-MeO-DMT. Now, this doesn't have all the other alkaloids that the bufo toad may have, like 5-HO-DMT, but this is just the pure synthetic form of 5-MeO-DMT. And I had received this as RC chemical. Yeah, so basically, I tried the essence of the toad. I'd had it, ever actually gotten access to the toad venom, per se, but pretty sure that shit hits a lot harder because of the other alkaloids included in the natural secretion of 5-MeO-DMT on the toad's skin. So, I found that really interesting, and I wanted to source that shit synthetically. Yeah, please source it synthetically. Don't source it through a toad because it does hurt the toad. Pretty sure that people do trap them, and yeah, imagine just being completely harvested just for your secretion glands on your body. Like, just imagine secreting oil and got people just harvesting you for it. Now, that's fucked up. So, yeah, please, for environmental standards, please just get synthetic, get 5-MeO-DMT. Anyways, let's get started to the video. Hope you guys stay high, stay lifted. And yeah, so I'm going to explain this experience I had. First time I ever tried 5-MeO-DMT. This was at the end of 2020. So I was, about 21 years old. Yeah, I was 21 or just about. I think I was 21 already. And yeah, basically I was like, dude, I got to try this shit. I just turned 21. I'm about to be 21. I gotta fucking try this shit. So yeah, what I did is I put in a little bowl. I actually had a oil burner, and if you know what that is, you know what that is. But I'm not gonna put any more details into that. But anyways, yeah, so I put that shit into the little oil burner, and I proceeded to smoke it actually very effectively, and I vaporized it. I didn't really waste any of it. And I noticed immediately this shit felt dark, okay? And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I can't fuck with this too much, man, because a little bit of it, like, I don't know, it was already setting me into a bit of a dark trip. And not like a bad trip, but it felt very, very like the essence of the trip, the vibes. I could definitely tell you could have a harder of a time. I don't know, it's a lot more uncomfortable. It's like it expands you more. And basically when you grow too much in too little time, which is what it does, and it enhances your spirit, and you can be open to spiritual attack. Basically, what I'm saying is, don't use this shit in a bad setting, in a bad frame of mind, or alone, because you actually can asphyxiate. You could choke on vomit. This has the tendency to actually induce nausea. I didn't get any nausea, but I did feel that it heavily, heavily impacts your serotonin receptors in your gut. I felt a very, very serotonin-ish kind of feeling. It was kind of like the feeling when MDMA hits your body. And I was like, yeah, this shit's very heavy on your serotonin. So yeah, it triggers nausea, not for the faint-hearted, but it was fine for me. But just be wary. Don't do too much too fast, because you can throw up and you could probably pass out while you're under the experience. And if you throw up, you will choke on your vomit because you'll be more than likely out of your body. And what a way to go, what a way to die. Don't fuck around, all right? So, sit up, don't choke on your vomit, and maybe drink a little sip of water right after you take a hit of it. Quickly down that, because you don't want to choke on that either. Yeah, it can actually, I think, lock up your throat, and basically it's just really, really powerful shit, all right? It's not for the faint-hearted. This is like the top of the tier psychedelic that you'd want to try, all right? Don't put this on the first of your list, all right? This would be like for the last of your list, all right? You gotta try, man. You have to have multiple DMT breakthroughs, multiple acid trips, multiple shrooms, multiple mescaline. I swear to God, you do not want to fuck with this shit if you don't have experience. Basically, what I mean is that you gotta have at least one psychedelic that you've mastered, and you should be good. But either way, it doesn't matter, because the peak of this stuff is the point, right? So it's supposed to be very intense. It's supposed to be like this. So keep that in mind, that you're doing one of the world's, probably, if not the world's most potent psychedelic known to man. All right. Salvia is another runner-up for that. But this one is, the most potent hallucinogen that we've came across, because it is active at 5 to like 15 milligrams or some shit. Again, that's not like potency per milligram. It's like potency per experience. The experience that you have with this shit is out of this world. However, it's not as colorful as DMT, I noticed, and it's not as visual. So what I mean is like more of like a spirit molecule. You'll have more of an experience internally than physically. You'll have an inward experience more than an outward experience because of the way it affects you. Like with DMT, You're looking around, you're seeing colors morph and everything. Like, this is more of an internal mind fucking high. So yeah, it's fucking nuts. Very, very anxiety ridden because, like I said, it's a lot more inward. So if you're not used to being in your head, this shit's gonna put you in your head real quick. Like, it'll snap your ass into your head, man. You'll be fucking, man, whatever's on your mind, whatever wasn't on your mind, you never know. It could come up. You might have to deal with it during the trip. And that is part of the therapy. That's part of the process of letting go. And if you ever try this, keep the theme of letting go. Please let go during the experience. I know it might seem hard, it might seem scary, but if you hang on, and if you hang on more, it's gonna get worse. Oh yes, you're gonna be fucking freaking out. And you don't want anybody to like get too paranoid that they actually call medical services, but that should be only if you choked on your vomit, right? Please incorporate every other harm reduction. But like I said, there's really no harm with this substance, but it does have a lot more fatalities, meaning you would have to have either ingested something that doesn't interact well with the substance, have a medical condition that you didn't tell anybody about, or asphyxiate and choke on your vomit. So there's really no real way you could die from the substance itself. It's usually medical complications. So it's not as dangerous as people may seem, and people may make it seem like it's just dangerous, but it's not. It's always those few deaths that give it a bad rep. But really, this shit is safe. It's really safe. But again, please, gotta exercise more harm reduction to safety. Now, so back to the trip. So the trip feels pretty goddamn dark, okay? Like I said, it doesn't really feel that euphoric at all. Like, it's not even euphoric at all. I don't even know why anybody would want to use this recreationally. It's not recreational. Like, I'd rather use DMT than this. And with DMT, man, that's pretty intense and potent as well. But however, with this stuff, it's a lot more just inward, spiritual. It kind of shuts everything off. It makes you really tired and sedated. It really does. And it shuts you off. Like, we're on DMT, you might be able to talk. This shit, you're not going to be able to talk at all. Not even a little bit. You're going to like go into this meditative state. Like, it instantly puts your brain into a meditative wave of energy and a state of being. And it's a state of being and meditative energy that we're not really in most of the time. And this is why it hits you so potently, because you never know if you're battling so much shit in your because life is not easy. Life doesn't wait for you, right? So you could be battling a bunch of shit, bunch of things you're tackling on, and then you might have somehow subconsciously brushed them away. But this stuff will bring it out, okay? And it's up to you whether how you want to take that, the bad way or the good way. And that's what causes a good experience versus a bad experience. And sometimes a bad experience is actually a good experience in disguise. You just gotta look at it better light and incorporate better information and safety. And just know your chemical, okay? Know your history. Watch videos, people doing it 5-MeO DMT, rituals or whatever. Maybe even follow that. Put some more good vibes in there, all right? Just doing this stuff in like a basement or something is a sure way to fucking have a bad trip. You gotta make sure you're fucking at least preparing for this potent ass experience. You gotta make sure you're doing it the right way. There's really no other way around that. And if you half-ass that shit, you're gonna half-ass the experience. You're gonna have half-ass energy, and you're gonna have a half-ass recovery, right? So everything is the way you do it, right? So you put in what you get out. Please put in some good vibes and good energies. And like I said, it's not euphoric. This stuff is purely for therapeutic use. I really don't see any recreational value in this. Purely for therapeutic use. Use DMT for recreational use, but this, nah. Putting this in a vape pen, because I actually did that before. I have a video coming up about that, but 5-MeO DMT in a vape pen, vaped, man, that hits way too hard. And yeah, that's not the same as DMT, but it was all right, but it just causes a lot more of a realistic, natural visual trip than like DMT. DMT is just too colorful, right? Now imagine like DMT with the color filter turned off, except you're still getting some little like distortions and like colors, but like it's like 50% turned off. Whatever causes the colors on the DMT, it's like 50% filter off. So it's like they turned down the color saturation, but they kept the fucking trippiness. And yeah, it's just a lot more introspective. That's another good way to say it. And you wouldn't want to keep using it. There's no really actually like urge to keep doing it. Man, like a small hit of this shit makes you not even want to do it anymore. I mean, it just really depends. But keep in mind, to get a breakthrough dose, it's about up to, I think, to like 8 to 10 milligrams all at once. So yeah, you'd actually want to titrate up the dose. If you're doing this for your first time, start out at like 1 milligram, work your way up. I'm not kidding. Seriously. I'd rather, work up to a dose rather than get a big, large dose right off the bat. That's a sure way to have a bad experience. So again, if you're going to have a large dose, session with 5-MeO DMT, work your way up to that dose, you know? Don't fucking do it right off the bat unless you have a lot of experience. But even then, you know, you never know if it might induce nausea. So a way to combat that nausea is to titrate up the dose ever so softly. And don't go too hard with this shit because, like I said, you don't want to have a bad experience. And you don't want to throw up. And you don't want to have people worrying about you while you're on that experience, while you're sort of out of consciousness and out of body. And yeah, it's just not a good time, man. It's not recreational, trust me. And it's just not that euphoric. So you will be more likely to have a bad trip. That's just the way I know how that works. If a drug doesn't really have much euphoria and it's too fucking uncomfortable and psychedelic like that, oh yeah, like it's easily gonna have a bad time for someone that's not coming into it with the good energy. So like I said, stick to the same harm reduction and information that all chemicals have on this channel and that server Discord that I have. And I laid out some information there with research chemical subcategories. So you guys should definitely join the Discord server. We got 111 members, 111, the synchronicities. And yeah, so anyways, 5-MeO DMT has a good place in my heart, but I don't really want to use it often. I still have a good amount of it, but I don't use it. I don't need to use it, but it is a good way to reset your brain. Let me tell you, it actually resets the inflammation in your body. And that's what it did for me. I could feel it literally reset the inflammation. And I that's another good plus. So like low dose 5-MeO DMT can help you process unneeded emotions throughout the day. Like not depressive emotions, but you know, maybe like after a day of work, you're just like really annoyed. This can actually help you reset that. And so that you actually wake up with a better mindset the next day. So please, yeah, learn and how to use the proper procedures, you know, of when to use this to your advantage. That's the best way I could tell you how to use this. Use it to your advantage. Don't use it to abuse it, and stick to harm reduction. And hope you guys are staying lit. Anyways, hope you guys are staying high, stay lifted. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out till next time.